We used to cover ourselves in like black makeup and
It was bad.
yeah. We were still trying to figure out what we wanted to do, so we were like, I mean, we'll be the only band covered in black makeup. I guess that's something, you know.
We're like Deathcore 21 Pilots, you know.
Exactly.
Real quick before getting into today's episode, just wanted to shout out a few quick things. First of all, we have a Patreon. For as low as $1.50 a month, you can get early access to these episodes as well as your name in the credits. And with the $5 tier, you can gain access to member-only channels in our Discord server, as well as be a part of the group calls that Yan and I do every second Friday. Secondly, we have merch. 2 designs that we absolutely love. You can find those over at indiemerchstore.com. And last but not least, we do these podcast recordings live on Twitch. So if you want to be a part of the conversation, see these as they happen. We do those every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. EST. Yeah, that's it. Links to everything I just mentioned will be in the description, along with links to our Discord server and our other socials. That's it. That's all I got to plug. Enjoy the episode. Caleb, Santi, welcome to the show. How are we doing, guys?
Hello.
Good.
We're doing great.
Doing good.
Hell yeah, man! I'm excited. Excited to get to talk to you guys. A lot of cool stuff. You guys just put out an EP, all this good stuff. We got plenty to talk about. So a busy day for you guys. We were talking off stream. Some of y'all are playing a show that's currently already happening right now.
Yeah, Black Heaven Fest. Yeah.
Well, what time that was starting at like noon, right?
Yeah, it started at 12.
It's going on right now.
There we go. So yeah, I mean, amidst all that, appreciate you guys taking the time to do this. I'll kind of let you go. Yeah, and I know we were both big Birth of Tragedy fans from a couple of years ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think my first comment about it was like, I talked about the snare, I believe. I could be wrong, but my memory was that. Like, I think I literally I was just like, oh my God, that snare. But yeah, I was really happy to hear that, because at the time I really felt like and it's funny to say that because now maybe slam is more part of like the revival and stuff like that, but I remember hearing it and being like, oh shit, like it was bringing me back perhaps to like closer to the slam thing or brutal dead even, and it was really good. So I was really stoked, and I talked about it quite a bit. I remember when as I do all the time when I'm stoked about something, but I remember for a couple of streams I would constantly bringing up. So I was definitely a big fan of it.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I remember that we were all freaking out because me and him have been like massive fans of you guys, and specifically Yen. We can't even lie. Like we've been watching you since like the beginning, dude. Like
We watch your YouTube videos.
Like we've been watching you for a very long time. So when you posted that video of a ping snare or whatever for Birth, like that meant a lot to us. So we thank you.
We've been specifically waiting for you to ask him about his snare. Like you have no idea.
You're in the right place.
It's happening today for sure. But thank you for the kind words. For real, I keep forgetting that people, as weird as it sounds, because I know I have like decent views and stuff like that, but I just keep. It's a weird thing because you're alone in a room and you release stuff, so you keep kind of forgetting that there's like actual people who care. You release and then you do something else, but it's always cool to hear that that people are patient enough to hear me mispronounce all their favorite bands names. That's really cool. But thank you for real.
Yeah, of course.
Seriously, man, we love the content.
Thank you. It's I like to think that at least I'm my English is more bearable now, but it's been a journey, honestly. I'm making jokes, but I never would have expected that by starting a YouTube channel we would be here today, like with a podcast, doing all that stuff. Like I was like, am I the only one who even cared about like that whole era and stuff like that? There's no videos about it. Next thing you know, I mean, I was expecting like a couple just older dudes, maybe, you know, being like, "Oh, that was cool," and then this whole thing
I
happens.
mean,
It's
and
really,
here we are. We got the young guns like you guys that are, tearing it up and doing the old school sound and all that, which has been the most surprising thing for us with the revival and with us doing this. Having
Yeah.
seeing how young a lot of people are that are getting into the genre and stuff. Like Yen said, we were expecting to be surrounded by 35-plus-year-olds. So
100%.
it's cool. And kind of also, I mean, to kind of touch on that too. We were talking off stream real quick, but you guys with Birth of Tragedy, before just real quick before we hop into some more current yet still we pray stuff. With Birth of Tragedy, you guys were early to the revival deathcore thing. This was like, we're talking 2022. There was Tracheotomy and not really that many other bands doing that sound. So I'd be curious from your guys' perspective. Like, clearly this wasn't trend hopping, right? Like, you guys clearly you guys clearly love that stuff, right? So where does that come from you guys? Like, where do you guys get into the MySpace sound and those sort of bands, and wanting to, enough to want to make a band that sounds like that,
Gonna go first?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I got into deathcore like around in middle school because I just found like a YouTube video of a Disengage music video, and ever since then I kind of just been obsessed with it. I started playing drums around that time, and I was trying to like start bands and stuff, but nothing really went anywhere. And then a couple years later, I went to like a show for the first time in South Florida, and I saw Tracheotomy before they had like any music out or anything else. Like, they had nothing out at the time. It was May 14th of 2022. And I remember I was so in shock that like people actually like liked deathcore, like that were around my age, you know what I mean? And like seeing kids going to shows and stuff like that, that was like such a like a mind-blowing moment. Like, this is like a real thing, you know? So ever since then, like, he kind of just wanted to do it, and then me and him linked up, and now we're here.
How'd the two of you meet? And I'm curious, Santi, too, where you kind of come into the whole deathcore thing. But yeah, how'd you guys end up linking up?
Well, we actually had like a mutual friend in like middle school, and we ended up meeting, and like we just talked about like different like music we were into at the time. And growing up, like at that point in my life, like I was super into like metal, but like kind of like the elitist, like older, like thrash death metal side of things at the time. When I first listened to
guys,
yeah, it's a little embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie. When I first listened to like a deathcore band, I remember I listened to Whitechapel. Some kid showed me in like middle school, and like I didn't understand really what like the whole core thing was at the time, because this was back in like 2015, 16, you know. So all that was like kind of like in like a weird middle phase. Like everything was super like the symphonic stuff, you know what I mean? And I remember listening to This Is Exile by Whitechapel, and at the time, I didn't know what deathcore was. I just thought like, oh, this is just like newer, like heavier, like death metal, you know what I mean? And then I found all like the internet stuff of people saying like, oh, deathcore is this, deathcore is that, you know? And that just made me like it more.
Hell yeah.
Proof that haters actually help the
100%.
That's
100%.
got it right here. Thank you to all my, black metal fan commenters on Instagram. Shout out. Thank you for helping.
True cult, man. True cult.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. So how do you guys get from meeting up or becoming friends to then making music together and starting Birth?
Can I tell this one?
Yeah, go for it.
So at this point we hadn't seen each other in a couple of years. I want to say like 2 maybe.
This is after we were already like mutual friends in school, like for a couple of years, like way back in the day.
So we don't see each other for about like 2 years, I want to say. And we just randomly run into each other at a Publix. And I was wearing like a 9 Inch Nails shirt.
Publix, by the way, for those of you that aren't from Florida, it's like a grocery store, just like on every corner, like here in Florida.
Yeah.
Gotta get the pub sub.
The pub sub. That's what's up.
So we just ran into each other at a Publix, and we just kind of just started talking again, and he was thinking about starting a band with our who is our bassist now, John. And then yeah, we kind of just exchanged numbers and we ended up.
One thing led to another.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And then did you guys have bands you guys were looking at in terms of, you know, style of music that you guys were wanting to do within the deathcore thing, and maybe even just like visuals? Because I'm thinking back to, I think we both really latched on to the music video that you guys put out eventually a couple of years later, you know, that had the very like VHS kind of vibes to it and the very old school look to it. So were there specific influences when you guys were starting the band?
I mean, I think it goes without saying, Suicide Silence, like The Cleansing, that was literally all we were listening to when we first started. Like when we were first starting to like all like play together, because this was like our first band together, the like first song we learned was Unanswered, like obviously.
The correct thing to cover.
Yeah.
Honestly, from my memory, and you correct me if I'm wrong, like no one really was like, all right, let's do deathcore. We were just like, let's just do something super heavy, and then that was just a super heavy song that we wanted to cover, you know. And then we all kind of just started getting like really deep into it. I ended up going down a really deep rabbit hole, so did he. So, and then it kind of just turned into let's be deathcore.
Actually, fun fact, the song that like kind of brought the whole like conversation into like fruition was actually a mathcore song. I'm sure you guys know Psyopus, that one song, Duct Tape Smile. They have the music video where like the girl's following the guy around with the camera. That song is awesome. That's a really good band.
Oh yeah, because I guess if we go back to like the first material you guys were putting out with Birth of Tragedy, there even was a little bit more of a grindy kind of feel to it too, right?
Oh yeah, Deb.
I can see that.
We were all over the place. But that's the truth. Everyone was kind of all over the place. Me and him kind of were like in one direction. Our other ex-band member at the time was in another one. Like we all just wanted to make something heavy, and we were all young, so we were all just having fun and just making whatever.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. And then
you guys,
the best of it, though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying sometimes it's part of it though. You're saying, oh, we're all over the place, but like if you take the behind me, like the Suicide Silence EP, I think that's all it was. You know, people all over the place just trying to be as heavy as it is, and it's still one of my favorite things in the world. So that's sometimes it's part of the charm, is what I'm saying. The fun behind it, even though the direction might not be super clear.
Yeah.
Our direction was very unclear.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, to Yan's point, I think a lot of bands go through that, right? Especially first music you're writing with new people in a band and stuff. It always kind of takes a bit of time to figure out, you know, what you like, and then you know, seeing the reception of songs live too, and then your guys' tastes develop as time goes on as well, right? So you guys were playing a decent amount of shows too back then, right? It was because from my outside looking in, there's like the music video, I felt like that got a decent amount of hype, and before you guys ended up breaking up, you guys were pretty active in terms of trying to play even out of state and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, we were playing a lot of local shows at the time. Like scene shows were like really like becoming bigger in South Florida, because this was like after COVID, so people were really like starting to go to a lot of shows. And I don't know, we kind of built up hype like pretty fast. I think it was mainly also because we were like the only like band that was making like deathcore besides like Trach, and I think that definitely helped us, because over here in South Florida at the time it was literally like only like punk bands and hardcore bands, a couple metalcore bands, but that was really it. So honestly, I think the hype of there being another like younger deathcore band definitely helped us grow in our scene.
Do you guys think because Tracheotomy, I think, kind of also led the charge? You know, I think probably in South Florida specifically, I think Tracheotomy were getting pretty known, pretty big, and having these really big turnouts at their shows and stuff. Would it be fair to say that Tracheotomy was kind of also helping just making deathcore be a cool thing for
Yes,
South Florida in
100%,
general.
100%,
Yes. 1,000%. Yeah. 1,000.
especially for South Florida.
Do
That's
you
cool.
remember? Maybe it's been a while, but like you're saying, you were all over the place at first. Like, do you remember the first show how it went?
I
For you
remember the
guys?
first deathcore show I went to. It was the Tracheotomy show. They played with a band that is no longer around, Tactose at the time, and that was my first real deathcore show that wasn't like, you know, like a Whitechapel like touring like concert type of thing. That was like my first real deal like deathcore show. I brought a friend from like growing up, and he had been hating on like all heavy music for like his whole life. I remember he went into the pit, he came back out with like a bloody nose, and he's like, "Oh, I love this stuff now."
That's
I
all it
remember
took.
that
A
show
bloody nose is all it
so
took.
vividly.
That's funny.
It was the beginning of it. Yeah, that's how it starts. Weirdly, no, that's awesome. But I would love to know specifically also for you guys, your shows, like your first, like as a, you know, as Bird of, like when you played, like how it went too. I would be curious.
Do you want to go?
Yeah. Well, you could just butt in, I guess.
It was okay. There you go.
Our first show was in a Citibank, in an office building on a second floor in Hollywood,
Dania Beach,
Dania Beach.
Dania Beach, Florida.
And we actually used to practice there a lot too. But it was basically in front of like, I want to say like
50 people.
like 15 people.
Yeah.
Like it was like nothing. But it was dope. We played with like two rappers and like couple punk bands. And at the time we were young, so we were like, oh hell yeah.
We thought it was the coolest thing in the world at the time.
We used to cover ourselves in like black makeup and
Yeah, it was bad.
yeah.
What was the
You could try
influence there?
things.
What were you guys trying to go for with the black makeup?
We don't know. We were just
Yeah, honestly, we were just honestly
we were just throwing shit at the wall, seeing what stuck. you know?
we were trying to like we were still trying to figure out what we wanted to do. So we were like, I mean, what's the like? We'll be the only band covered in black makeup. I guess that's something, you know.
We're like Deathcore 21 Pilots, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, especially at a rap show, I guess probably definitely the only people with the black makeup on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The crowds were different back then too.
Yeah, dude. That's really how it was back then. Like we used to only play with like rappers.
It would be
And
like
stuff
two
like
bands
that.
and like two rappers every
Yeah.
bill.
It'd be like that, and they were always like such messes. Like there would be fights at shows. It was such a mess. It was always a mess.
We actually played a show one time way back in the day, like 2-3 years ago as Birth. And as we were playing, there's these, I don't even remember what was going on, but there were these kids like fighting in the parking lot.
Oh yeah.
And I remember turning and I see Caleb getting off the drums. And I'm like, what are you doing? We have like 3 songs left. He's rushing outside and all you hear is all of a sudden a gunshot outside. So obviously, thank God, no one got hurt.
Yeah.
Thank God. But, you know, they ruined a venue for us over some, you know, stupid beef. And they made it everyone else's problem.
Yeah, the scene back then was
Not the best.
Yeah, not the best. But thankfully, thanks to like Jeff of Equinox Booking and like all the other great bookers we have here, like Wes of Above Death and Gabe of Brainwash, John of Break Even, like our scene is really in a really good place right now. And
You're
it's
not
it's
going to
awesome.
mention yourself too?
And I guess myself, sure.
No,
but
it has been cool to see the Florida scene really blossom, and I think it's still under that same kind of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's also still very much a mixed bill kind of environment, right? Where I don't think the genres matter all that much. It's because there's a bunch of there's like revival stuff in a whole bunch of different genres now. So it's you've got a screamo band with the revival metalcore band, and then deathcore, and like it's kind of like a melting pot of all these things. And I've thought that to be really cool and kind of unique to South Florida, if anything, because I don't think I think maybe LA has some of that stuff too, like that sort of scene. But outside of that, in the U.S., it's pretty, if it's a deathcore show, it's deathcore bands, and that's it, right?
Yeah. We are very blessed and spoiled with our scene.
100%.
We played like we played shows outside of Florida before, and like I've toured with my other band, and And all I've learned is that like South Florida is just the best. Like we are very spoiled to have such a good community, and yeah, and we love it, honestly.
Very grateful.
Yeah.
Very grateful.
Dude, there's shows sorry, but there's shows every single weekend, and like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and sometimes even on weekdays. Like most places don't have that.
Sometimes there's 2 shows in the same day.
Yeah, like a dead show in South Florida is like 40 people. Like so
it is. I don't know how Jeff does it. I'll be real, because he's probably putting on like fucking 300 shows a year. It's absolutely insane.
He's
like,
been at it for a while now.
It's unbelievable, honestly. It's crazy how he's just always working on like the next thing. It's
Done a really good job of curating a community.
Yeah.
He's like part of the success of the scene if you think about
Yeah,
it.
100%. Yeah, he plays shows himself. Like,
It definitely is.
it's really cool when you see someone that's like you know, successful in like the way that most people think of, that like still focuses on like those who, you know, want to do the same thing.
And he loves it. Like that's his actual passion, and you can tell, and that's awesome, you know.
But it also wouldn't work though if there weren't I guess the fans to show up as much, right? So there is something to be said about just people's willingness to be 200 people in a fucking venue on a Wednesday random night. You know, it is kind of, because that is the kind of stuff you see in South Florida, and you see a packed out Legion, you know, for like a random bill of bands on a Thursday night or something. So it's been.
It's the support too that is pretty crazy, right? Like it feels like even a newer project, people are stoked and they want it to work type thing, which is not, honestly, it's not something we would see that much back then. I'm not saying it never happened.
Here it's the opposite. It's like no one gives a shit about you until you've like made it somewhere else, kind of thing. You know, there's like not much love for like the local scene until the band's cool all of a sudden. And now they're the city's favorite bands, but you know, it takes them doing stuff before being cool. So it's really the opposite in South Florida, it seems.
Yeah, no matter who you are, like big or small, like if you drop something and you're a part of the scene and you go to shows, like it will be shared around and people will be talking about it. Like we have a very strong community.
Yeah, to the risk of sounding corny, because I often sound like that, like it really feels like it's kind of a, like the revival is like a family thing. Like there's a new project and instantly you're gonna see like maybe bigger bands just involving them in their shows and just like, hey, play with us. It really feels like it's just like everybody's stoked and they want bands to be involved and be there, as opposed to back in the days, which was more competitive, like who's gonna be the next thing or something, and everybody just was more of a competition type thing. I don't see that now. It's just like, let's all play together, we're in the same boat, and it's really awesome to see, because the other way of thinking, if you ask me, is just stupid. No, because like we're in the same scene, so just if bands are growing, it helps the other bands. Like there's no point in just, you know, being rude or just, you know, it's better to be all together, I think.
You guys have talked about this in other episodes, but like it's very, very true that when one band from this scene does well, everyone else sees like a little bit of that success. So it's really good that like more people are like adopting that mentality.
Sorry, and just real quick, I'll say it's because it's the young people making music, man. That's the reality of it. Because I think it is like a lot of older people tend to be stingy and more. There's like a bit of a different mindset. I think the youth today is very like, yes, let's make everyone win, right? But yeah, to Yan's point, it wasn't always like that, and it's still the same. You know, those people are still the same, right? So it really is the youth that's kind of making it what it is right now, for sure.
Yeah.
There was some sort of, it's weird, but during the MySpace era, it was kind of like nowadays you release your music and it's just because you're stoked and you want it to be heavy. Back in the days, it was so stupid, but it was like it was like an ego thing to be heavier. It was just like we're heavier, which is just so stupid. It's like it's heavy who cares? But back in the days, it was this thing of just like, no, we're heavier, or we're better because of this, which is just
we've got the lower vocal, or we've got the slowest breakdown, or we've got the fastest blast beat, or there's always these weird metrics of people trying to one up each other.
So you ask me, that's where the whole vocal Olympics thing comes from, really. It's from that mentality.
Yes,
absolutely. Yeah, it manifests in different ways now. It's definitely not gone by any means. That's 1,000% still like, yeah, the vocal Olympics is just people trying to outdo other
I think
people,
that stuff is cool
sure.
sometimes. It just time and place, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to see that at like a local show. Even though it'd be cool, it's just not the same as something a little more grounded, something a little more, I guess, DIY. Better way to put it.
Because it's a specific style. Like if we talk about like vocal Olympics, it's very, let's be honest, it's very often the goblin thing, right?
Yeah.
Like most of the time it's going to be that. For me, in terms of my taste, like I'm noticing you're wearing an Infant Annihilator shirt. Notice how I pronounced it right that time.
He also mispronounces it.
We got a clap.
He also mispronounces it.
It's I've been practicing. I've been practicing quite a lot. After the mess of a video that I made, but honestly, it's just for me to have a pass, right? It works like the goblin thing for infants somehow just works perfectly. It's really sick. But I feel like in the context of what, for example, you guys are doing, we're gonna get into that, or the revival, it would just feel out of place. Like it doesn't really work. And I'm glad that people are bringing back like the old school, pig squeals or whatever, all the stuff that I personally like, because there's, not to say it's always bad like the goblin thing, but I just feel like so far it's been tastefully executed. Look at me trying words in English, but it feels it's cool to see is what I'm saying, because it could have been like a revival thing, but with like modern vocals and stuff like that, and to me it would have been different. So I'm glad people are picking up on that. It makes a big difference, and it works better in that context, I think.
Yeah, and not to hate on like that kind of vocal style, because I love a lot of bands that do that kind of stuff. It's just that like I feel like for a couple years that stuff kind of like oversaturated what deathcore was. Like I love like Shadow of Intent, like you know what I mean. The record with the Reclaimer, that blue one is awesome. Like I love that stuff. It's just when you hear that over and over, and then oh, here's where the synth part is going to come in with the cellos and all that. It's good to hear something change up a little bit, or go back to like you said, the revival, the rawness of it all.
I cannot tell you the amount of time that, and with all due respect, but like after the whole Lorna thing and Shadow and stuff like that, because as you said, they're all great, they're amazing if at it, but the amount of other bands releasing a song that it's basically a shadow of it, right? Like just like it's basically, you can tell like, oh, they've been listening to that specific song. It's been maybe tiring, and people were just like, it's kind of ruining it a bit.
We're not all gonna be Will Ramos on the mic. That's not all of us,
Exactly, but it's still it goes without saying that dude is just like, he's incredible. It's fine. Like I'm okay with that, and them at what they do, they're awesome. But when you've got like 50 songs a week of just like other bands just redoing that entire thing, there's no point. It's just like we've got that already, and
they all gotta have that one breakdown where they do some.
Yeah, it's the infamous just one kick and then like the double kick, and then there's gonna be the goblin thing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
that's
we heard it
right there.
I think that's to be fair, to be completely fair, as people who were there during the breakdown compilation era on YouTube, it wouldn't be fair to say that we never I don't know, saturated anything with like we there was a lot of like trendy stuff as well, right? Like the gang vocals and
overdoing
stuff
trends is not a new thing. Yeah.
we're guilty of it too back then. So just adding that to the pile.
I feel like some of those trends that were overdone back then, nowadays when people bring them back, it kind of gives it like, I don't know what else to say it. It gives them some sort of like aura. You know what I mean? Like when you see a band from today and they're getting posted on YouTube and you see like the super low res video and it's like top 10 blankest breakdowns, you know, and it's a band from like last year. I think that's kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
No, it is because it's this very special thing in which I'm gonna take like another like outside of deathcore, another example. Take new metal. Back in the days, new metal was like this whole thing. And it was very controversial. Like sometimes you would just say that you listen to new metal, and people were just like, "You're the worst, you're a poser," whatever. Because like if you dared mention that you love Limp Bizkit, forget it. Like it was, you know, people would laugh at you, and I know because people were laughing at me. But nowadays it came back, and a lot of new bands are doing things that were considered kind of corny back then, but now it works. It's cool. So a lot of the times that if you give something a little time to recover maybe, and just you know, being back to a newer audience, it works.
It becomes cool again.
And now it's accepted. So because I'm sure if I ask a lot of people if Limp Bizkit is cool now, I'm pretty sure it's going to be overwhelmingly positive. Yeah, it's a sick new metal band. Back in the days, trust me. Not saying they didn't have fun, obviously they had, but yeah, it was a bit controversial. So I think the breakdown thing is similar to that. Back in the days, so many people were doing it to the point where like it was the same tuning, the same thing, the same kind of vocals. So after a while, that's kind of why the sound changed, I believe. I think it's part of the reason it was overdone. But nowadays, when people are bringing it back, it's awesome. The pig squeals, everything. And we're getting into that because you guys are definitely in that lane, and it's awesome. To me, it's really cool that you know, people are not so focused on it's been done. It's cool now. It's just like, do it. And by the way, for me, if you do pig squeals in your music, you get bonus points like instantly. Like it's never gonna be there's never gonna be a point in my life where I'm just like, oh no, like bring it, right? Like just put it in your music. That's my take.
Just a quick second to talk about the sponsor of today's episode, Indie Merch Store. Indie Merch Store's Tale from the Wares collection is back just in time for Halloween. Spooky designs are in stock and shipping now. You can pick up officially licensed merchandise from your favorite horror movie classics, along with your favorite bands. Restocks and new items have been added, including some popular tees from their previous Halloween drops. We got some Infant Annihilator, Carcosa, Shadow of Intent. Check it out over at indiemerchstore.com. Despised Icon have a brand new line of album-inspired merch for their upcoming album Shadow Work, which drops on October 31st. You can pre-order a limited vinyl, CDs, t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeves, track shorts, beanies, and dad hats all over at indiemerchstore.com. Be sure to check out their latest single, The Apparition, out now. You can use code BRUTALITY at checkout to save 10% off of your entire order. Again, that's code BRUTALITY at checkout for 10% off. A massive thank you to Indie Merch Store for supporting the show. And now, back to the episode. I'd love to kind of segue this into Yet Still We Pray. So, you guys... actually, it's kind of funny. We were interviewing Zane from Return to Glory, and at the end of the interview with him, he was like, Birth of Tragedy is breaking up, but don't worry, guys, they're making a new band." And that's how we found out, you know.
That's crazy.
And so because I don't think at that point it was like really like right in the works right then and there.
Yep.
I think I remember like messaging you guys on either the Birth of Tragedy page.
No, that was the episode with Sheila Broflovsky.
Oh, maybe
With Boom,
that's it.
that
I'm
was with
confusing the
Boom.
two. Yeah.
That was Boom.
That makes a lot more sense now. I was about to be
I was gonna be the
Yeah,
fraternity.
my
They
bad,
like
my bad.
us.
But yeah, but so all that to say that we found out in an interview that we were doing that you guys were moving on and doing a new thing. So we've been kind of waiting for that for a bit afterwards. But yeah, I'd love for you guys to kind of talk us through maybe some of the end of the band, but then more importantly, I guess, both of you were in Birth of Tragedy and you guys stuck together to start a new band. So there's clearly some bond, at least musically, between the two of you, and I'd love to kind of know, how, I'd love to know, why the new band and what that meant for maybe the direction for the band, if there were new goals or I'd love to kind of get into the start of Yet Still We Pray.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna just start it. Just so like the way it really like began is we were still all playing with Birth of Tragedy at the time. We were going through like lineup changes, like pretty much the entire lineup up until that point, besides me and Caleb, had been changed to some extent. And we got to a point where we brought on our friend who's now our guitarist and Yet Still, Wes. Shout out to Wes. We brought on our friend Chris. Shout out Chris as well. And we were just, writing, like playing shows and all that. And we realized that like the sound we were kind of going for, like it kind of became a whole new project of its own, so to speak. We had a lot more of a clear like direction of where we wanted to go, and like we had more of an identity as a band, I guess. And so we just kind of wanted to like start from scratch. We realized, we're doing something completely new. We might as well call it something new as well.
It was also like a new time in our lives, and we were all so done with like birth and stuff.
We were moving on from that.
Me and him specifically were just very, very eager to just move on from that and
work on something new.
We didn't. Me and him personally, we didn't really even like what we really did with birth. Like we weren't ever really big fans of what we did, so we kind of just wanted to get away with it. And most of the music Absolved, our first single as Yet Still, that was supposed to be a birth song. And once that song was done, we were kind of like, this is kind of like
its own thing.
This is its own thing. This is not like, we don't want this to be.
I do want to say though, not that I don't like any of the birth stuff, even though I wouldn't listen to a lot of it today, I do look back on it in a way where I am kind of grateful that we did it.
Oh yeah.
Like, as much as I'm not like a big fan of like what we did and I think we could have done better, I don't want to like completely disparage it.
I mean, first of all, it feels like it's a new era for you guys, which makes sense. Like when you're past something, it's just like, I understand the feeling, because like sometimes weirdly, if you're in a new era but in the same project, it feels weird a bit. Like it feels like you moved on, but you're in this within the same umbrella to
the same
I'm
logo.
So
you got like a vibe
crazy.
Already to a band that doesn't match necessarily the new thing anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I fully understand the feeling, and I think it's a good vision that you have, though. That you know, Bert is what led you where you are now. So it's always be like a great step in your evolution. I think it's okay to embrace that, but it's also okay to be like, we're somewhere else now, which is completely fine. If it can reassure you, you should hear some of the stuff that we did back in the MySpace era in general, and you're gonna notice that Bert was really great. So there's that. But it's true that my first instinct when I heard Yet Still We Play, it really feels like a, I don't know, like a Super Saiyan version or something. Like it feels, I don't know if it's the right word, maybe richer in terms of the music, like the sound, and maybe more full. It was great. Like I love the old stuff, if I'm honest, but this one just felt, I don't know, just cranked. Like maybe even down to the songwriting itself felt just,
again, stronger. That's a big shout out to our two new guitarists, Wes and Chris. Big shout out to those guys. Love them.
That's what happened. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I think
really cool.
I mean, were you guys Yeah, I'm curious. Like, so you guys just started writing. Like, there wasn't that's kind of like a cool transition, I guess. It wasn't necessarily as much of a hard reset, maybe, as I would have thought, right? Because you guys were right. Like, it was just like you guys wrote a song without necessarily thinking of, oh, we're gonna change this band or whatever. And after having written the song, you guys were like, oh, I think we need a rebrand, you know? So,
Yeah.
it wasn't like, oh, we want to take this in a new direction and started writing for something different. It was just like, what happened with new members?
The best way to put it would be that we wrote that song with a completely new lineup.
Yeah.
And we realized once we finished this song, that is not a Birth of Tragedy song, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Once we had like the final project, we realized this is its own thing.
Sure.
I think that's the best.
That makes
way
a lot
to
of
put it.
sense. Yeah.
Do you,
That
do you
go for it.
Sorry, no, do you remember when the name came into? Because you guys are good at names. Like, I think Bert, it was a cool name, and I think this one is cool as well, which is a pretty rare thing in general. It's difficult. Let's be honest. It's band names. We all have been there. That like you're talking with people, and you're just like, so I don't know if it was the case for you. Maybe it came really fast, but sometimes it's just like, what about this? Oh, I don't know. What about this? And everybody's pitching.
Everything
just
sounds
like,
goofy as hell.
yeah, and you just want one. You're just like, can we just like have a name that would be great? So I would be curious to know how it came about with the new project.
I'm talking about Birth. You're talking about Yet still, because you want sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So for like Birth, I was just really into like philosophy books at the time, and I was getting into Friedrich Nietzsche. And it's so funny too, because this is around the same time that Thus Spoke Zarathustra came out. Awesome band. We were nowhere near on their level of like musicianship, by the way. Nowhere near.
Almost
Just goes
no one
without
is,
saying.
to be fair. Yeah, no one is almost. So just
Goes
so
without
that we
saying.
can-
But I remember I was reading up on like Nietzsche's works, and his first book ever was a book he wrote about how music impacted like Greek tragedy, as in like plays and stuff. And in that book, he says that like music is like the purest form of art and like the closest someone can come to like, I guess, like reality itself. And I just thought that was like really cool. So I just took the title of the book, and that was the old band name. And then Forget Still.
Which also, to be clear, is the most annoying as fuck thing when you're trying to look up for a band and everything that comes up is not the band because it's also a book.
Sorry about that. Hopefully you guys got to learn a little bit though.
There we go.
It's like, this isn't
So
what I
revenue.
signed up for. What the hell is going on here?
Yeah. There was no pig squeal. Yeah. So.
I think Nietzsche could have done a pig squeal back then.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna have some AI videos of that happening real soon, I'm sure.
Oh, please don't.
And then Caleb, you want to
So
tell them how we came up with Yet
And
Still?
then
Yeah.
It was
after you came back from Africa.
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember right now. So I went on a missionary trip with my parents, and we went to South Africa, and we helped a couple of families out, just like grow some plants and feed some kids and stuff like that. And it was a really like wholesome experience for me. And when I got back, we were like kind of getting the ball rolling with what was Birth at the time. We were just like still writing new songs. And one day, me, him, and our other guitarist, Wes, we were eating at a diner. And I forgot exactly what we were talking about, but I basically was saying that I think it's crazy that a lot of people that have like faith in something, or like it could be Christianity, it can be whatever, how like something horrible happens, how they still like pray to their God and stuff, and how when bad things happen, people still will pray to whatever they believe in, and that kind of yet still we pray. You know what I mean? He kind of just took that and made it into his own thing.
And we're not like a religious or Christian band necessarily. That's another thing a lot of people ask us a lot. We all believe like a lot of different stuff, like personally, but we just thought it was really like poignant, you know, the idea that like even people who like wouldn't believe in God or wouldn't, you know, be into that kind of stuff would still kind of like reach out for something in like their worst moments. You know what I mean?
It's cool because I think it's going to speak to a lot of people in that way. You know, you say like, oh, we're not specifically a Christian band, but yeah, it could be cool for someone who's Christian to see like
if
that
someone takes it that way,
Exactly.
they're right. Yeah.
Exactly. That's another thing that I really do like about it now is that you can kind of take it in whatever way you want, because we're not atheists, you know, we're not like satanic or anything. Like, or, like
you don't know that.
we don't we don't
We'll be
like,
the judge of that. Yeah.
yeah. Like so like anyone can take it in whatever way they want to take it, you know.
Oh, it's really cool, and without going too much in depth with that, you know, there's all kinds of people in metal. Like, it's no secret, I don't wear shirts with like demons and stuff like that. I personally don't vibe with that at all. So it's cool for me when I see like other meanings and stuff like that. I'm still able to listen to music. I mean, I mentioned Infant Annihilator earlier, so obviously I'm still listening to different. I mean, so
You cut off the logo so it just looked like nipples. It looked like you were showing your nipples, dude.
So I would be lying if I said I don't ever listen to that stuff, but I just mean like it's cool sometimes to see, right, like to find other meanings to it, because I think there's other, you know, earlier we were talking about oversaturated. I think we heard a lot about hell and demon. Like I think since 2005, I think we heard a lot of stuff about it. Like, it's cool to see other things, and I think it's also, this stuff can be also quite powerful. And you mentioned it doesn't have to be Christianity necessarily, like every single time, but spirituality itself, I think, is a very interesting topic, and it can, as you said, resonate to tons of people. So I think it's a good move. I think it's cool that you guys are going for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go for it. No, go for it.
Nah, I blanked, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Go for it. I blanked.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about obviously it wasn't like a hard switch on like influences and stuff, but you did mention that, you know, obviously it's like a different thing. Obviously there's new members involved that help shape that. But I gotta say, your vocals specifically, I feel really kind of leveled up as well. And 100%. on the new EP, because we got to talk about the brand new EP that came out like a week ago.
And just not to cut you off, the logo too, we need to talk about that.
Yes, sir.
Shout out, wait, about the logo. Shout out Mike from North Carolina, Grip Reaper. He did the logo for us like a while ago. Awesome. Shout out, Mike. Love you, Mike.
Mike also did the last BirthOfTragedy logo. Also.
Yes, the final BirthOfTragedy logo, also by Mike.
Yeah.
Hit up Grip Reaper Zum logos on Instagram.
Yes.
Sorry, Don, but I was afraid to forget about
You're all good. No, but I mean, we can talk more about artwork and logos and stuff. But I'd be curious, just maybe influences on vocals, and maybe specifically coming into kind of the EP now, because I feel there's a bit more of there's like a more gutturally sound, but there's also more of a beat down kind of vibe to it all. So I'd be curious what the influences are here.
So when we first started, I think a lot of people are like, you know, especially getting into deathcore, everyone's going to be like, I want to be like Mitch Lucker. I wanted to be like Phil Bozeman, you know. Phil Bozeman, I think to this day, I think he sets the standard just for that like bass, like mid-low, you know, that just sounds like tough guy. But the past, I want to say a year or two, we've been really getting into Disfiguring the Goddess. And Big Chocolate, especially on that promo EP, and Circle of Nine, that record Circle of Nine is a masterpiece. Like, that is probably, in my opinion, I think that is the biggest influence instrumentally that we had for this EP, and vocally for when it comes to just specifically the guttural sections. Big Chocolate is like top tier on my list, like 100%.
Go ahead, shout out.
Just to, not to interrupt, but just to put it out there, like the things that made this whole EP was Circle of Nine by Disfiguring, Society's Disposable Son by Beneath the Massacre, and probably the first Agon EP. For anyone that's like a fan of Agon.
Agon. I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
I always say Agon.
I say Agon.
I've heard people say Aegeon. I don't know. but
Don't ask me.
No, oh, sorry. I didn't even know who you were talking about. It's Aegean.
Aegean.
Okay.
That
Oh my god, yeah. it took
That
me a
first-
while. Okay.
that first EP,
Yeah.
that first EP is like genius, and that was like my personal like biggest influence for our record.
Also, Goodbye to the Gallows by Amir.
Yes.
Goodbye to the Gallows by Amir.
my
Masterpiece
God,
record. Oh my god.
Yes. Like that kind of, I keep calling it, I probably have the wrong term, but like post-hardcore vibey moments. Like I really love that, you know, when everything stops and it's like you could, singing could fit, but like they're screaming over it. It's hard to explain, but just like those like melodic parts with screaming and a little more emotional, it's super sick.
I kind of think about it like you were saying earlier. He kind of has like a new metal swag to him. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I really
1000%.
think Amir is like deathcore Limp Bizkit in the best way possible.
Yeah, we talk
is.
about this a lot, but definitely I think like Goodbye to the Gallows and the next few records after that would come out in
Respect issue.
2025, and it would be probably more of a hit than it was back then, I feel like.
Oh, yes.
Because of what you were saying earlier, yeah, no, like new metal's cool now, right? Like, but
Yes.
but it really wasn't back then. So like the mix
Yes.
would be more acceptable now, I feel like.
Fair to say that he was, shout out, Frankie was ahead of his time, and Amur in general, really. Like, he would do these, like, talking, like you would hear in new metal. It's not really talking, but, like, parts that you hear, like, his voice and stuff like that. And I remember he got a lot of shit for that. You know, like, back then, people were upset. But to your point, that stuff would release right now, and I think people would think it's super awesome. So that's the curse maybe of being ahead of your time, or maybe too early in something, but they deserve a lot of credit. Also, shout out, I just saw that Anna from Liz Demise is in our chat.
I was about to say shout out Anna from Love.
It's funny because before starting this, we were only kind of joking around how we almost three of us showed up in the same Disfiguring the Goddess t-shirt.
We should have.
That would have been incredible, like, honestly.
We need to get you one, Yan.
It would have been even funnier because look how much I stand out. My whole room is pink. I have like a blue shirt. Like I couldn't stand out more. Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my god. Like, and you guys are, look at your shirt. I mean, this Spice Icon, all this stuff. So it would have been even worse. Like imagine all the same shirt and then like there's me right now. It would have been pretty funny. Please do that in the future.
We're doing it next time for sure.
Yes.
There we go.
We were telling Dom earlier, one time we played a show and we all wore the shirt.
Yeah.
We all wore the shirt.
I think it's worth it. So
That's funny as shit. How do you guys discover Disfiguring the Goddess and become so obsessed with it? I agree. Circle of Nine, I think, is by far my favorite record from the band. What is it? Void Leecher?
Yeah, Void
dude,
Leecher.
like that breakdown at the end is the coolest fucking thing in the world.
When I was 16, old friend of mine who used to be in like the MySpace scene, he's like way older than us. Shout out, that's Creep. He showed me I Declare Goddess, and that shit just like blew my mind. And then like years later, I think I just sent it in our group chat one day, the Circle of Nine, and then everyone kind of just got obsessed with it from there.
Yeah, same. For me, it was the I Declare Goddess video, Caleb sending it to me, and watching the podcast, actually.
That's pretty badass. That's really awesome to hear. They just put out a record today, actually. Speaking of which, a new Disfiguring the Goddess record just dropped. Yes, sir. I haven't checked it out yet, so I can't comment on it, but I'm excited to check it out.
Not enough people know about Circle of Nine.
That is true. Well, I think Disfiguring the Goddess, for better, for worse, I think the pipeline is the same for a lot of people that discovered it through the video, right? Through I Declare Goddess. But I don't think enough people have then transitioned into actually listening to the band's music.
Yeah.
It's like and I don't know why, because it's all fucking great. And I mean, it's all over the place, like admittedly, like over the years, it's very eclectic. but some of those records are fucking timeless. Like Circle of Nine, Agreed, is like a top tier record that, to your point, severely underrated for sure.
I like the reggaeton thing that he's been on lately. I think it really fits, especially with the groove of that slam stuff. I think it works.
He's hilarious. He's
really good at content too. The milk
hilarious.
reviews are great. The milk reviews are great.
The most random thing we ever had, I think, in this scene, and I'm saying that like it's positive, but I mean like it's the most unexpected thing I think we could ever picture, and yeah, it works with him somehow. So
hey, look, we on this podcast talked with him for 45 minutes, 50 minutes just about milk. So there's
it was fun.
It was fun. It is something.
Funny story about that. I used to work like I was cleaning pools in Tampa after the really bad hurricane like a while back ago, and I would just be listening to your guys' podcast like every day while I was doing it, just out there for hours. And I remember that interview specifically with Big Chocolates. Big Chocolates.
So you're so let me get this straight. You're cleaning a pool, you're at your job, and you're listening to three dudes yap about milk for 50 minutes. That's what's going on. Okay, just so we're clear. Okay. I love it.
Very engaging content.
Oh yeah, for sure. Can you guys kind of walk me through a bit of your guys' relationship with Nick from Crypt Studio? Because you guys have worked with them a lot, right?
Yeah. He's just a great guy. I've always been like you guys. I was a massive fan of Drake when they first came out. Like I was at like shows before they had music, so I already like was like a fan of him in general. Like and once he like started like his studio stuff, it used to be called Blush Studios. We were like hitting him up, seeing like if we could work with him. And he's always been like super nice with us, and he's a great guy. He's a good friend of ours. He actually plays in my other band, Exit Life, now. So
cool.
He's great. Shout out Nick.
I think he's one of the few that really nail the raw but cool sounding sound on recordings, right?
Yes.
Can you guys speak to that a little bit? Maybe like the rawness you guys are going for in the music?
He's very, very set on, if necessary, recording things analog, meaning we have real cabs in the studio. We're running it through real heads. Yeah, we're recording it like through a digital, like I don't know how the whole technology works. We're recording it onto the computer, but like the actual like sound itself is coming from a real physical cab, and it really gives it that the rawness you guys are talking about. Also, Caleb recorded live drums for this one.
Yeah, it's all live drums, and it's not on a click at all, and it's obvious.
Wait, no click?
Yeah, there's no click on that whole record. That's just all raw drums.
I mean,
insane.
My bad to Mr. Nick over here. That must be fucking hell to work with. But hey,
yeah.
But it works. Like and I mean this in the most respectful way possible. You can feel that it's kind of janky at bits, right? Like it's not, but that's like the charm of it.
Yeah, that's the
right.
raw.
Like you can feel that, like, yeah, okay, maybe the blast beat is letting off a little bit here, or there's like something, but it makes it, I don't know. I think more and more we're really craving that, like in the wake of everything being so polished and fucking AI and all these things. And we've heard so many, we've heard so many electronic drums, MIDI drums at this point on records, just because it's the easier thing to do, that like at this point, anything to make a drum sound more real from actually recording a drum kit. I mean, I'm so for it. And I love how it sounds and how the performance is on the EP. It's really cool.
I was one for MIDI drums for a long time. Everything on Birth is all MIDI drums. Our first single, Jet Still, is MIDI drums as well. But once we were in writing mode for this EP, I kind of was like fuck all that. Like, we want to make this like just super raw as possible, and that's what we're just on for the whole time we were recording, and I think it came out sounding pretty raw.
I mean, that's the entire. You know, earlier, I talked about the Suicide Silence EP. I mean, I think it's one of the best example of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, with all due respect, I'm not saying the drummer he's a cool drummer, but I'm just saying like you can hear it's delayed sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
not by a lot, but just you can feel it's someone playing, and personally I've been craving that. Like I think it's lacking for some project. I think something like Infant, obviously, like the machine aspect to it is part of the charm, right? Like it's perfect. But what you guys are doing, like it's adding to it. It works better this way. I would say, and a lot of people are loving that. I think the human aspect behind the playing, it's a good choice. I think.
Yeah,
More work maybe, but
that's another thing. Like I'm a huge Dying Fetus fan, and I love like the way the drums sound like on their first couple of records. Like that, it sounds like sloppy as hell, but it sounds like it's amazing. Like, so yeah, that was kind of the vibe I wanted to go for my drums, at least for this record.
that's
It's hard
cool.
to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say it's hard to put a word on like what that quality is, or what is that thing that makes us like something that sounds objectively worse.
Yeah.
Like it's like a weird thing to
Yeah.
quantify. Like why do we like this more, right? It's like it's a weird thing.
Yes, I'm the worst person for that. Like, I'm literally hoping it kind of sounds bad. That's weird. Like, I'm kind of hoping, not bad, but like, I'm really hoping that it sounds like a demo almost, like when I click on something, which is a weird behavior. I'm supposed to chase like great sound, and every single time I'm like, please be like as raw as possible when I click on something. And it's great because just by looking at your artwork, and the aesthetic of your band, I would have been surprised if it would have been something extremely like electronic modern something. I would have been, oh my god, like so it's cool. So like I think the image speaks to it, everything works together. So, and maybe we can talk about that, like the whole just setting that up in place. Like you had the name, you kind of knew, you had like your lineup and all of that. So maybe how everything came about, like the process of writing, the aesthetic and all of that. That would be great to maybe to know a little more about it.
Well, for the art, first things first, shout out to Crippled Wings for the artwork. We gave them like a really specific like idea of what we wanted the cover to be, and what we got as like our end product was so close to the image we had in our heads that it like
Yeah.
I think it fits perfectly like you said.
Yep.
And
the logo too and everything. So
as far as the aesthetics go, it is a little like obviously like somewhat of a callback to like the early like MySpace stuff, that kind of like gritty, almost like done on real paper like aesthetic, especially with the artwork. That honestly all kind of came through like as a consequence of like the process that we were doing everything. It was, it's our first like real release as like, this band. So we're kind of just still kind of figuring everything out. And I think that kind of ended up translating, and it made it feel a little, like you guys have been saying, like raw.
That's cool.
really cool because it's cool when something is consistent, right? Like I feel like I clicked, first of all, like when I don't remember when you sent it to me, but I clicked played and in 3 seconds I was like, oh yes, so I feel like and I know I said it a lot on the podcast and half of my videos, but like it's so important, the look of what you're doing. Like sure the music matters, like it's about the music, sure, but the aesthetic really matters too, right? Like you won't wear merch that you don't like the logo, you won't like, it's all part of it, so it really matters a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm lagging a bit, by the way. My phone
No,
is
yeah,
about
we
to explode.
we got really lucky that like we managed to like create an aesthetic that is very in line with the way we're doing things. We ended up getting that like visual vibe just because we really were doing it like DIY, like ourselves figuring it out. So I think that's where I think it just shows.
Is Crippled Wings local to you guys, or just
No.
through
No.
Instagram?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
through Instagram.
I completely forgot where they're from, but I know that they like they either used to be in South Florida or they sometimes come to South Florida. I don't know, either one of
okay.
them. Yeah.
There's some ties somehow to
Yeah,
to the Florida scene.
they definitely have
Is-
something. Yeah,
Is more to sustain from
yeah.
your parts? Okay, because
Yes.
I feel like there's I don't know, there's like some weird connection with the with the artists in South Florida as well. I
It's a
felt
small
like somewhere.
world.
Yeah, Morta did our promo for our first single, and he did our cover art for the first single as well. Shout out Morta too. We also have a music video coming soon that will be done by him as well.
Oh hell yeah! I
Pull out the cat out of the bag.
Super stoked.
That's so fucking cool to hear. I love Morta Sustain's just the aesthetic they go for is so fucking cool. I love the kind of 90s, like, well, no, more like a Y2K,
Like late 90s,
kinda
early
like,
2000s, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a cool vibe.
Yeah, I became a massive fan of Morta from the dissimulation art that he did for Drake, and then I kind of just started following him from there. He also does like a lot of music videos for Peter Rowan, which are really sick. They're awesome. So yeah, Morta's awesome, and he's a really nice guy too.
Let's be honest too, like I'm stoked for you guys because it's no secret, like an official video really helps in terms of, right, like in terms of hype and just, you know, helping. You can release music, of course, like I've been, you know, Psychoframe is a good example of that. At first didn't have a video, still had a lot of hype, but since they were releasing videos and stuff like that, it kind of tripled. Like it's part. It really helps, you know, having an official video. So it's a lot of work, but it's worth it, I think.
If the vibe fits is all I'll say, because there's a bunch of
Yes.
dog shit music videos that
True.
aren't gonna move the needle. You know, I'm
That's
not
true.
naming names, but I'm just saying
but that's true.
a cool music video will push things forward. But yeah.
And it's even worse if it's too. Okay. So I'm gonna say that as much as I love raw music and stuff like that, if we're speaking videos though, I prefer when it's a bit more professional. Like it can be, the aesthetic can be like we're just talking about like VHS style. It's awesome, but it needs to be well done. It's hard to explain, but like the line between, you know, if it looks like you filmed it with your friends with a phone, it's kind of, it's, you know, it's not the same feeling when you listen to it, I think.
If it looks crappy on purpose, you're doing it right. If it looks crappy in a way you're not going for,
That's the problem.
At the end of the day, it's all about the editing.
100%.
It is though. It is, because I guess someone could prove me wrong. I'm saying with a phone, and yet maybe I've watched some videos that I love, and it was really like filmed in a amateur way, and then it was awesome, and I just never knew. That's really...
don't blame the tool, man, because there's plenty of dog shit videos on cinema cameras. Let me tell you
That's
that
right.
much.
That's for sure. And again, to the conversation of things being overdone, let me tell you something. During the MySpace era, as much as I love a lot of videos, the infamous just like the wood in the wood, the girl
Running in place.
running, or the where, you know, that like it's crazy. You wouldn't know like before clicking almost like, oh, it's this video for sure. So that's another thing, right? But it was part of the charm, I guess.
Stick Stickly is an awesome music video, but it set a really, really, really bad trend.
Oh yes.
Awesome video, awesome idea. The outfits, the crabbing, everything is perfect, but everyone got on their wave.
Yeah, even though I'm a little I love that video, but they're not letting me use it in my content, so I'm a bit upset. Yeah, first time that happened to me, like it's not even the music, like just the visual video, I got flagged. I was like, what?
You would think they would
Still posted it.
appreciate that, especially
Yeah,
because
but
it's
it's
like
not-
the scene.
But you know what I mean? It's never the Ben. It's like, you know.
It's
kind
probably
of-
like their management or something like that.
It's an automatic,
Label,
just
it's auto, yeah.
it's not, the worst part is they're not even aware of that. It just happened, like it's it just happened, right? But I do have to agree, without that video, like it's a staple, whether you like it or not, or you think it's ridiculous or whatever, like it did it really did change the game. Like there's no denying that. All the bands that came afterwards, right? I've been in All Ship and all those bands, like it's started there. Like dare I say asking Exandria even? Like it started there. So
Have you guys ever heard of a band called As Winter Burns White?
I don't think I
course.
did.
Classic.
Yes, I don't think I did.
Classic with
We
the,
heard about everything.
with the cracked out intro to that one song.
Yeah. You know that one music video they have of them in like the forest and like their faces are all scratched out and like dude, that video is like this band. Like that video is like one of the biggest inspirations for like us visually at least. Like
Okay.
yeah. I love that video. That's like my favorite deathcore video of all time.
Can you? I don't even think I'm familiar. Can you repeat that? I'm gonna.
As Winter Burns White.
Perfect.
I'll send you a link right now. Yeah. No.
Perfect.
So I usually have a setup where I'm able to kind of bring stuff up on stream, but it's kind of broken right now. Can't do it.
No
but
problem.
I'll send you a link.
Here,
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on social media when it comes to promoting the band or TikTok and all these things? Because it's like a funny thing where it's kind of maybe at odds with what the general vibe of being a revival deathcore band is. Yet it's kind of like a means to an end. We kind of gotta do it, but you guys aren't like crazy on social media either. So how do you guys see it?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I mainly run all of our social media. We do not have a TikTok. We probably won't have a TikTok. But
see Yen cheering in the background.
I hate it so much. I'm sorry, TikTok. It's just not my platform. Like
exactly, yeah.
Like I'm not kidding. I log on because I'm posting kind of, and the worst part is it works well. So I know that. But every time, I'm not kidding, I log, don't check anything, post, and I leave. Like that's what I do on TikTok. So that's
I think it's cool on TikTok when you find people talking about a band on TikTok, but you can't find the band on TikTok.
Yeah,
I think that kind of creates like aura. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But as far as promotion, you know, I don't know. Honestly, I could probably be better at it, but we have some stuff in the works right now that's going to come out for promotion soon.
I think as far as social media content goes, like less is more. It's good to like build up hype, and every time you do put a little bit of content out, like it feels like an event.
Also, we don't want to be annoying. You know, we don't want to like, and that's like no shade to anyone out there that does this. We just don't want to always be posting the same thing. We don't want to like be throwing it in people's faces. We generally want people to like want to come look at our profile. You know what I mean?
I noticed some people don't want to name any specific bands or anything, but like sometimes you see like certain bands like on social media. It's almost like more like the content on social media is what they're trying to promote more than like the music itself.
It's like everything you can just tell by our profile, but like everything we promote is for the music. We're not promoting anything for, you know, social media. It's for us, you know, it's for the music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you guys kind of just announced you guys were putting out an album, and a week later it was out, kind of thing. You know, it was just like here you go, guys.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There was a whole ordeal that we can talk about off stream that happened, but it definitely came out like really fast.
Okay, it's cool, and because like as you said, like I said many times that I love like pop punk music, and there's a lot of bands that I generally like, but their page has become like a skit page. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like it's just like you know, they're just like doing I don't know, even like trends, I guess. Kind of takes away, I think, from the music and the image of it. It's okay. I know it probably works, right? If they're doing it, I'm guessing it works. But I'm a big fan of just like letting the music speak for itself. Like if you guys are releasing something, like you say you don't want to be annoying, but like there are ways to post, but it's actually cool. Like back in the days when As Blood Runs Black released like a guitar playthrough, it was awesome. It was cool to see. It's related to the music. It's great. You would release like little, I don't know, like studio teaser, I guess. That's awesome as well. Like there are ways to do stuff that I think adds on to it. But if your page is just like skits and then basically just, you know what I mean, like 15 videos that you don't hear any music and it's kind of just a trailer sound, that's where, you know, instead of building hype, I feel like you're losing it type thing. So that's to be fair, it's a difficult thing to manage. I think like the social media, like it's not an easy thing for anybody, right? It's easy to do too much or not enough. I feel like the line is difficult. So.
Yeah, it can definitely be stressful at some points, you know.
So, yeah.
What's if you could like resurrect an OG deathcore band, who would it be?
That's tough.
I really think about this.
Big one.
That's tough.
Who would we revive? Shit.
I'm so glad I'm not the one who's been.
I
asked
would
that.
honestly just love to see Infinite Annihilator with I don't remember the name of the vocalist. I know you guys had him on, but the vocalist they had for Flop, his vocals on that record are terrifying. Yeah. I think that would be a really, really dope band to see. I know they don't play live at all, but like to hear that record live would be like, I would be scared to be in that room.
Yeah, there's something you mentioned earlier, like the aura, right? There's an aura to that it's crazy. It's really special.
I'd say probably like contortionist, but like
the contortionist,
like shapeshifter contortionist.
Shapeshifter, okay.
That EP is a masterpiece.
I would love to see that live. Like I would love that. Also, I don't even know if they play or not, but Aegean, Aegean, yeah.
It's the most counterintuitive band name in the world. Absolutely.
I'm gonna say it wrong for the rest of this interview, but Aegon. I would love to see them. Like that first EP. I'm blanking out on the name, but I think it was the 2008 one. I would love to see that live. That would be insane.
We got it here.
Great choices.
Also, I know it's not a deathcore band, but I would bring a suck back.
This guy.
Yes.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. Oh my god, you bastard! I need that. Oh my god.
Yeah, we're about it over here.
Where'd you get that?
I actually toured with the band, with my old band back in the day. So they had,
oh my god,
they had CDs that I was able to snag.
Just to add to
just to really flex on
the
you.
Actually, that's fine. Did you know that his old band played with Beneath the Massacre?
What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is so sick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Montreal connection right there.
Dude, we love that band, specifically like the Stringmen and me. Like we love that band.
Not to add on top of that, but we're actually seeing them in December here. There's this show, The Spice Icon with Beneath, so that's gonna be pretty crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be pretty insane. But just for context, I never saw Beneath live. Like I'm saying this, but it's gonna be my first time, and I couldn't be more freaking excited. You did, I know for a fact, like many times, but
goated live band. It is. It's always crazy, and I think like Arcspire is another band like that. But you know, when bands are that technical and so fucking insane, but they're somehow actually able to play it live. It's kind of like we're talking about Infinite Annihilator from all this time too. Like they haven't been playing live. I don't think it's because they wouldn't necessarily be able to play it, but I feel the same way about a band like Arcspire and Beneath the Massacre, but somehow they do it. They're like able to pull it off. So it is fucking crazy. But Beneath the Massacre really has a way of they're techie, but it's also the most fucking brutal band in the world. Like the breakdowns are so fucking heavy. So
It's like gunshots. I don't know how to explain it. Like the breaks, it's like you're getting punched in the face like every single time. Because it's no secret, I'm not the biggest like tech fans in general, but I have a few exceptions like that. That it's too brutal for me to ignore type thing. That sounded right. Too brutal to ignore.
Seeing Cycle Frame play those songs live was pretty crazy. All those songs.
See now we're jealous. Now you guys are flexing. Yeah.
All the turntable.
We've yet to see them live, man, dude. I'm so jealous, man. Yeah, they do look like they're fucking killing it. Oh yeah, you got the flag in the back. Yeah. Shit, the OG stuff too. You mentioned Salt the Wound.
Oh yeah, Salt the Wound's dope. Yeah, I don't think we mentioned them, but that's a dope band.
I could have sworn I heard more.
I think you did.
Yeah, we did.
Anyway.
I don't remember.
Oh no! I think I was saying Salt the Wound because you were showing him the CD, the Igeon CD, and then you were like, "Oh yeah, we played with them." I meant like you were salting the wound, making him jealous.
Okay.
Salt the Wound's a dope
Although
band.
great band though, great band.
Okay.
Well,
I see the confusion.
Wow.
I see my confusion now. Okay.
You did make him jealous though.
you didn't prepare that, by the way. Seems like that was set up. It was intentional.
Yeah. By the way, I toured with them. No big deal.
No big deal. You know, yeah. I'm cool like that. Okay. Fictional talk here, but maybe not. Dream tour lineup. Well, what bands are you guys
Another tough
wanting
one.
to tour with?
First and foremost, Sheila Broflovsky, North Carolina, homies.
Okay.
First and
There we go.
foremost. First and foremost. Other than that, you want to listen to another one?
I think you know what? We'll do it as one tour for me and him together because we share the same things.
Yeah.
Basically,
okay.
so we'll just do one big tour together as one. So we'll
Sure.
probably
We're gonna
put
combine
Sheila-
our answers.
Yeah,
Sheila.
probably put Sheila. Probably put Cycle Frame. Let's just be real.
Correct answer. I'll allow it.
I don't know about you, but I'd put Beneath the Massacre.
That would be dope.
I Declare War also. No?
Yeah, no, it's just I know you said Dream, but like you're missing. It's like, you know what I mean? Crazy ass name.
I would put Dying Fetus too because I love Dying Fetus.
Dude, when are we playing?
Yeah, no,
when are we playing?
Whenever you want, man. It's your dream.
And then I'll put one more for me, probably Dehumanized, and that's it for me.
Thy
Okay.
Art is Murder. Thy Art is Murder would be awesome to bring. I would get some people would not like this answer, but I still think this band is one of my top of all time, especially since you guys were talking about techie bands that still play that stuff live. Rings of Saturn. Oh my god. That record Dingear, that one song Hyperforms, the opening vocals on that are terrifying. Terrifying. The highs on that song specifically. I think they would be great to have. Obviously they don't have a vocalist anymore. Who else?
How do you feel about that?
Oh, I think it was a bad decision. I think they need the vocals. I think that band is genuinely so scary and so techie. I don't know why they would do something like that. That Dingear and Lugal Kien, that Orange record, are masterpieces. They have that one "No Pity for a Coward" cover on that one. Oh my god. But yeah,
That's
Rings
cool
of
how
Saturn.
they made that cover their own too. It like feels like a Ring song
100%.
too, which is cool. Yeah.
100%. Who else?
Also, sorry to come back to an old question, but it just popped in my head. You asked what band would you bring back? It would be probably Taking Your Last Chance. It was a German deathcore band. That band's awesome, dude. Inhumane Mind. Search up that song by them. It's fucking awesome.
They have like more recent records randomly that I found out about like somewhat recently. And by more recent, I mean like just like 6-7 years after that one record that was awesome. Yeah,
Sorry.
God, dude.
All right,
Yo,
end of interview.
I'm the first person on BRUTALITY podcast to hit the 6'7", dude.
Ian and I are over 30. Let's just be
I
clear.
know.
But yeah, but back to
Backs
taking
are hurting.
taking your last chance. I think they recently started throwing stuff on Spotify, because I remember when I used to look them up on Spotify, they weren't there, but I'm pretty sure they are now.
Yeah. Yeah, they have like a 2015 record, which was like, yeah, but I could have sworn I saw something else too, like more recent. I'm looking it up now.
I love it.
But yeah, the Decorations, that one album.
Yeah. That shit is amazing, dude.
Yeah, I fully agree with it. That's to me like a crazy underrated band. And I don't know if it's because like they didn't, I don't know, they probably maybe didn't tour all that much. It's not like they toured the US or like anything not local, but that band was like severely underrated.
Yeah. Amazing, mate. Amazing band. That was just another one of those bands that kind of just got like ignored with the other million other deathcore bands.
Mm-hmm.
But that band's amazing.
Are you guys into like because I kind of feel this vibe from some of the music on the new EP, like the kind of float face down, abacab kind of like beat down shit, because we haven't really touched on that sort of
I really
deathcore,
like the
but I feel like there's a lot of that stuff on the record. Yeah,
I really love those down tempo breakdowns. Where he was talking about the tone earlier for Beneath the Massacre, where it sounds like he's firing a gun. The way I think about it, with some of like the low chugs, especially the tritones, sometimes it literally sounds like someone's dropping a fucking like anvil. You know what I mean? It just, you can feel the weight behind each chug. I love it when breakdowns sound like that. I don't know. I don't remember the name of the song, but there's this one float face down song. It's the one that's just the numbers. It's like 11, 21, and it's just a breakdown. But the tone all the way throughout that song is terrifying. That's a great band, Float Face Down.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
yeah,
Super underrated. I give them also a lot of credit for what happened with like the whole beatdown thing. They were very early with that kind of sound, I believe, and super huge influence for bands that did it like years later. Pretty crazy.
Basically, like in my opinion, like my favorite thing in like deathcore is when it goes from like one of those like really down tempo, like slow down, like really groovy, like beat down breakdowns into like one of like a ridiculous fast part. You know what I mean? Just the complete 180. I think that's what it is for me.
Mm-hmm.
The contrast.
Yeah, it's definitely the new record we put out is definitely without a doubt a deathcore record, but I guess I'd say like we weren't looking at it like that. Like I remember he said specifically, like when we start this band, we're not gonna just be like, oh, we're a deathcore band, we're just a heavy band, you know. Like we all have influences. Like our guitarist Wes, like he loves Incantation, like he loves a lot of death metal stuff, and so do I, and you know, so we all just bring everything together. Our bassist is like a crazy like
Techie guy,
yeah, like he's insane at
he's into like Necrophagus. He's playing like the solo for warm up off of
like I feel like a lot of people can barely tell, but in our last song in our EP, there's literally a bass solo over a blast beat. So but like him being like super techie, like he adds that to the band. So everyone kind of like adds things. Like our other guitarist Chris, like he loves like metalcore and stuff like that, so he'll add his takes on stuff. And yeah, actually I really want to tell the recording story really bad.
Which one?
About Chris recording the whole EP.
Oh, with the hand. Oh, yeah.
For it. We're here for the lore. We're here for the stories, guys. If you guys have anything, for sure.
All right,
let me tell the one where you cutting hand, and you tell the recording one.
Oh, you should tell. I should tell the cutting hand because I was there, and then you tell the recording one.
No. You tell the cutting hand. I'll say how he was on FaceTime for the show.
All right, we have two stories.
Okay.
Both of them involve our newest guitarist, Chris. Shout out Chris again.
Yeah,
we love you, Chris.
So basically, we played a show in North Carolina with Sheila Broflovsky and Reverent and Victim Blamed. Shout out to all of them. Shout out Scorched Earth's booking, by the way. They're awesome. Anyway,
was that the Newgrounds flyer?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So basically, this is a day before we have to leave to North Carolina. We're driving there overnight. We're supposed to leave at 10 p.m. It's a 13-hour drive?
It was
Like
yeah, something like that.
like a 13-hour drive for us. And I'm at Guitar Center with our guitarist Chris, and he's opening like some sort of cable or something. Completely slices his whole hand open, and
He was opening a quarter inch.
yeah, he was opening a quarter inch. Completely slices his hand open, and we had to drive to like 3 different hospitals before he like they even like helped him. It was-
Oh yeah, we have amazing healthcare here.
yeah,
Amazing
I can
healthcare.
tell. Yeah.
yeah. So he ended up having to stay here.
While we played the show.
While we played in North Carolina, which was really sad. But
Yeah.
and then the recording story, go ahead.
So no, actually, funny enough, when he ended up slicing his hand, all of this, by the way, was over a quarter inch, which we could have gotten backline probably, but that's neither here nor there. He sliced his hand open, and so we get to the venue, and I decided to FaceTime him while we were on stage, and I had him on FaceTime the entire set, and I just had him looking at the crowd the whole time. And then also,
Well, how'd that show go? Minus one guitar. Obviously, it's maybe not ideal. But were you guys able to still
if
pull
Chris
it off
had been
decent?
there, if we had the full lineup, I think that would have been our best show.
Yeah, but it was still an amazing show.
It was an amazing time.
There's a set. There's a video on YouTube of it. It was awesome.
Hell
We
yeah.
also cheated by covering unanswered. That's cheating in the deathcore world. That's like an easy, you know.
I mean, yeah, but at least it's not
Still
recreant.
valid.
That's
No,
that's all
we
I'll
just got to
say.
be the one that did it first, like at that show.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the recording story?
Oh yeah. So our guitarist Wes, for some reason, well, there's a couple reasons. The whole us recording was like a whole problem because the date that we requested ended up being double booked, so we had to reschedule it again. And when we rescheduled it again, our guitarist had like just completely forgot that he was going to Mexico for like a month or like a week or whatever it was. And so our second guitarist Chris had to basically learn all the lead
The
parts.
entire EP.
Like had to learn the whole EP full guitar in
Both
like
parts.
in a week, both guitar parts.
And that's the recording you hear on the record, by the way.
Yeah, and that's what you hear in the record.
Shout out Chris for
Yeah.
clutching in.
He literally, yeah, he learned everything basically in 1 week, and then with a messed up hand. Keep in mind because it was still cut.
He still has the messed up hand. Okay. I mean, shout out Chris for sure.
Yeah, so big shout
Holy
out Chris
fuck.
for coming and clutch for that.
What did you say? Like learning both guitars. Do you guys like how do you guys go about it? Do you guys have demos ahead of time? Are you guys recording somehow ahead of time or?
Usually,
Yeah, for this EP, it was mainly me and our guitarist Wes writing everything. So it basically always starts in my garage, and then goes from there. But we did have a couple songs off of this. Like I want to say like two of the songs off of this EP were basically just in his room, and like me with a drum pad and like him just playing some riffs, and you know everybody kind of brainstorming. But that's basically the writing process for the most part. But usually we'll freestyle something in my garage and then that turns into something, or we'll write like a riff together in a room and then next day we'll put it out, you know, play it together.
Do you guys record it somehow to be able to remember it afterwards,
Yeah,
or
with the
for
phone,
homie
yeah.
to learn the other guitar part? I'm assuming he's not like
Just on the phone.
remembering the
we just use
jam,
voice
you know?
memos, real
Yeah.
DIY.
Yeah, we literally
Okay.
usually just use voice memos.
Yeah,
I mean,
like this thing. Say what you're gonna say.
for this one, like before our guitarist left to Mexico, he filmed like a couple videos, but it was mainly through voice memos and recordings that like just throw my phone in the middle of the room and record, you know?
Yeah. Huh.
I'm just curious how you can forget an entire trip. That's the part of the of this that I was, with all due respect, I don't understand how you forget that, but you know, that would be my question.
In his defense, it was a really busy week and we were rushing to get the release out, and I think he just forgot it. But
And we
worked out.
did double book the studio by accident.
we did. But
Okay.
but
Our studio session was double booked.
yeah.
Okay, makes sense. I can.
It happens. Well, look, I mean, you guys got it done by any means necessary. So there is that, you know, you guys made it work.
Yeah, everything for this release was just a tad bit rushed, a little bit too much, but our next release will definitely be a lot more smoother.
Hopefully. I'm
Would you
kidding.
guys? I mean, more times always fun, but sometimes there's maybe an element of I mean, not to use this word again, but some rawness that comes from kind of being
Sometimes the
rushed into having
limitations,
to.
yeah. Sometimes limitations kind of bring out like the best things in something.
Mhm.
I think it definitely, the limitations did help a little bit, especially for the raw sound.
Yeah.
In terms of, we didn't talk much about lyrics, I think. I mean, we talked about like the concept of the name and stuff like that. Would you say that the lyrics are close to it, or it's just like different concepts?
Yes
Or...
and no.
Okay.
The lyrics are super, super eclectic. A lot of it, I'm drawing a lot of like, kind of like, I don't know how to explain it really. This is a tough one. I'm drawing on a lot of like futurist philosophy from like the 90s. So one of like my really, really big inspirations is Sadie Plant. She was a feminist like philosopher back in the University of Warwick in the 90s, and they used to write a lot about, you know, theorizing on like technology and the way that it's going to change our lives, I guess. And it does kind of tie into the whole religious aspect of it, because there is this weird sort of intersection in the lyrics between like occultism, religion, technology, and like the way it's affecting we even look at ourselves as like human beings. I would definitely look into, like, if you want to understand more like what I'm getting into, if you guys have ever heard of like the Cybernetic Culture Research Unit, they have a lot of really weird stuff. They used to be really involved in like the jungle scene in the 90s. But basically the whole like concept behind everything is that AI, technology, and like capitalism itself are all the same thing, and they're working from a point in time in the future to reach back into the past to ensure their own creation. It's really heavy. Like it's a lot of stuff you have to like read into, like to fully like put it together. But
A lot of lore.
yeah, but it's really it's given me a lot of material to like work with, I would say.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I feel like there'd be some sort of universe to build around that. Like
There is, yes,
for
100%.
more stuff, whether it be within the music videos or more writing or just like extra stuff that goes outside of just the music.
Another really good thing to like get into if you want to really understand like the lyrics a little more would be like the works of like Giles Deleuze and Felix Guattari. They were French from like the, I want to say 50s and 60s. But yeah.
Were they also talking about that same sort of thing, like the future?
Yes, but the way they talked about it really was they were kind of finding out ways to like basically to like take apart the self and the way that we think about the self, I guess. It's really it's a lot to just talk about on the air right now. I'm not gonna lie, that would have to be like something else I'd have to sit down and like it really is a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's my question about the lyric. Like you did answer, and what I get from that is there's a lot of thought and a lot of research and process into it, which is awesome to hear, because it's not always the case, which is okay too. I mean, there's no rules, but it's awesome to hear how much thought, how much dedication to the lyrics there.
I think the best way to sum it up, like to wrap everything up in one theme, would be just the title of the first song off the EP, which is "Nothing Human Escapes the Near Future." Basically, what that means is that like, if we want to go on like as people, as like human beings, we're gonna have to change our definition of what human means.
Love that.
That's
It's
cool.
really cool.
I again, like you say, oh, it would take like a specific, like more time or a specific thing to really dive into it. But that's kind of what I was alluding to. Like I feel like there would be cool ways for you to kind of expand even more into all of that, right? Whether, I don't know, not necessarily through social media posts, but whether it be just some other sort of writing, or whether it be through other sorts of visuals, or even just the future music. Is that something that you kind of plan on doing more with for like future material, or that was just kind of a self-contained thing for the CP?
I'm open to touching into these themes a lot, just because like there's so much to write about. There really is like so much different content and so many different ways you can go into, like so many different facets that it like connects to. Because like I said, there's like a religious aspect, there's an aspect of like technology, there's like an aspect of you know, like how we connect with art even to begin with. So I don't know, I'm kind of open to things, you know. I'm willing to go in any direction.
That's awesome, man. I love to hear it. I think Yen said it already, but we've heard a lot about murders and hell and all of these kind of horror cliches in deathcore. So anything that's not that at this point is always welcome. So we do love a good some good lyrical content. I think in general, I think would you agree? Like, I think in general, deathcore lyrics have always kind of been they kind of never mattered in a lot of bands. Like I feel like no one really digs into them all that much, but to be fair, because a lot of it is kind of lame or just, you know, it's just whatever, you know.
You're just here for the gutturals. You don't even know what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cool though when you do pay attention, then you notice that there's like more to it, and you're in another world. It's also very cool, right? So I think obviously it's a way smaller percentage of people as opposed to other styles of music, right? But the people that care, because best believe there's actually a community of people who looks at the lyrics and really it's important to them. So
That's us.
there we go.
but I think there is like a need, but like a fan base for that sort of. So I think it's funny because we were talking about this earlier this week with Komoich, but there's just the whenever you're able to expand more into stuff like that, I feel like it kind of opens up to a universe. I think we were do you guys know Distant?
Yeah.
The band. So
Yeah.
you know, like they put out like lore books, you know, on the side of their albums, like just entire books that they wrote to kind of pair with the lyrics and stuff like that. Just because there's like it's just like a way for those that really want to get in depth with the lyrical content. There's like now a way to do so, right? Which doesn't have to be the case for all bands or you guys at all, but I just always find it cool when bands kind of fully lean into, especially when it's a cool concept like that, where there'd be like place for some more
I think it'd be
exploration.
really cool to do that. I would rather point people towards
The
like
work,
someone who's like better at explaining things than me. You know what I mean? Like point them at like the original works that I'm pulling from. But that's not
Sure.
that's a really good way of looking at it. Like sort of like looking as like the music as a way to get into this whole other like side of it.
Yeah.
That could be really cool.
Yeah. It's food for thought, I guess.
No, I like that. I like that.
Look, speaking of being here for the gutturals, though, we certainly are here for the pig squeals. We got to talk about pig squeals for a second. What's who's got the most goated pig squeal? First question.
In history,
Dom of fucking Waking the Cadaver.
that's a pretty good answer. I can't lie. That's a pretty good answer.
Probably Alex. What's his last name? The original vocalist for Chelsea Green. Alex.
Oh, Alex Kohler.
Alex Kohler.
Yeah. Probably him
We
too.
have to mention Jump for Cowboy too. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
we have to
Dr.
mention
Calvin.
Jump for Cowboy.
Oh, the original vocalist for I Declare War. I forgot his name, but that guy.
Oh, yeah.
was
Jonathan
crazy.
Huber.
Yeah,
Huber.
he was crazy.
Huber.
Crazy.
Huber. Don't expect me to pronounce his name properly.
You don't. Yeah, not the Frenchies that are gonna They're gonna correct you. But yeah, those are good shouts. I mean, what about pig squeals for you? Do you just like the sound? What was it like an important thing to add into the music? What's with the pig squeals? We love it, but I'd love to hear it from you.
They're scary and they sound like it's not a human being. I like when especially for like someone who's like not into deathcore or stuff like that. I remember the first time I heard like really extreme vocals, I genuinely couldn't imagine like the person behind it. So I think it's really cool is like I said, for like new people to hear that and be like, what are they even doing? You know, what even is that?
Yeah, it's true. I don't think about that, but like from the outside, they just don't understand what that is at all. For sure, they're just like, "What is this?" But when you listen to that music, it just makes sense and it's awesome, and we're waiting for it. But it's true that for someone outside of metal, even they're probably like, "I don't understand even what that is. Like, what does that sound?"
When I'm listening to something like really, really heavy, what I'm really trying to do is recreate the feeling that like you get when you first hear something like that. You know what I mean? Just something that pushes you over what you thought was like possible.
Yeah. I mean, this entire conversation, you guys mentioned Big Chocolate. That's exactly what happened when people heard his vocals and stuff. It was like, oh shit, so it can be that heavy. You mentioned the first I Declare War vocalist. It was a bit of the same thing, and we keep mentioning King Conquer as well. Was another vocalist like that. But to your point, it's cool when you think you heard like the heaviest thing, and then you hear something else and you're like, okay, so it can be even heavier. It's a cool feeling for sure. And then you're chasing it, right? Then you're looking for that. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
I had I think maybe a couple questions on Instagram that we could maybe wrap this up with. If you guys will indulge us for a few more minutes. You guys down with that?
Yeah, of course, please.
All right. So, Crooked Grind was asking, how does he practice his exhales?
Oh, actually, I know who that is. That's Adrian. Shout out. What's up, Adrian? So the way I learned to do vocals is actually really funny. I learned by accident. So when I was in like back to like middle school, I was finding like all these bands like Whitechapel. I was getting into like some slam stuff. I remember Abominable Putridity. I was huge on back then. Basically I would be listening to like death metal or, you know, stuff in like my headphones at school. And I remember I would always want to like imitate what the vocalist was doing, or I wanted to sing along. But, you know, you can't be walking around like the hallways, like going like, you know, practicing vocals at school. So I would end up like whispering like the actual like words to myself, trying to imitate it as much as possible using just my breath. And by doing that, I kind of like accidentally taught myself like how to shape, I guess, my mouth to like, you know, actually do the real thing. And then after that, I just started practicing in the shower from there.
There we
That
go.
works.
It's from that point, it was just kind of figuring out how to project, like more so just how to project it kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess for the projection, it really was just trial and error of just listening to the same song over and over again and just trying to like nail it.
Do you remember because pig squeals it's his own thing, right? To learn, it's just weird. Like I'm curious because I'm doing both inhales and I'm doing exhales, and they're both very different. So I'm curious, how did you first try maybe your
So for the pig squeals, yeah, actually, I'm glad you asked that. For the pig squeals specifically, I actually learned how to do highs first. So
Okay.
I like normal, like just, I don't know if it's false chord or fry. I don't really know terminology. I just kind of know like what I do. And I got the right noise to come out for like my high vocals. And I just learned how to close my mouth the right way, how to shape my tongue, and it just kind of came out on its own.
Cool.
The
Because
big
they're locked, you know, we're listening to your, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to explain, but they're squealy, locked, and consistent, which is
Thank you.
not necessarily easy to do.
I actually have more trouble doing like just the normal mid lows, the ones that you just hold out and it just sounds like a big beefy dude. Those are harder for me to do. I think that took me way more effort to like nail down than so much like the actual gutturals or some of the highs.
Yeah, I love I don't remember if it's the first or the second song on the EP, but there's like distinctively like I don't know 45 seconds or a minute into the song where it's like the first breakdown of the song and it's just pig squeals over it. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I think that's the first one. That's the first one.
I was like, this is like a great way to start off a song.
You think so?
Yeah, whatever.
Either way, I think that sort of stuff is cool because I think also a lot of people will do, they'll maybe use pig squeals and just like how to end a word that ends with Y or E, and they'll just kind of extend the word with the pig squeal. But the way it's used in this context, just being like, those are the words. That's the pattern. Those are the words. It's just squeals. I'm like, yes, we haven't had some of those in a minute.
Funny enough, I wrote in words for all those little pig squeals.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote in I know, no, they actually fit. When the lyrics come out, well, they're out on Apple Music, but when the lyrics are on Spotify, you guys will see.
I'm the one that's
waking style.
Itching for lyrics.
Yes, waking style.
Well, what is it? The agony, misery, exiting, sanity. That's the pig squeals. Okay. I see it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so last little quick one. Max Dunn is asking, ask Caleb where he got his kick pedals from.
Hell yeah. Wow, that's funny. Shout out Max. Max actually used to be in Birth, and he recorded the whole Birth EP. So shout out Max.
Okay. Shout out Max.
Yeah. My my pedals are from Leo McLean from Psycho Frame. I bought them off of him. Yeah, I love Leo McLean. I've been watching him since like 2019, and that's around the time I started playing drums since I was like 14. So yeah, I've been a massive fan of him for years. And then when he joined Psycho Frame, I had no idea he was actually in Psycho Frame. I was just a massive fan of him from Worm Shepherd and like his other drumming things. And so yeah, I'm at American Legion walking around and I see Leo McLean and I lose my shit.
Oh, okay. So you went to see Psycho Frame live and weren't expecting to see that dude there.
Yeah,
You didn't know he was in the band. Okay.
I had no idea. There's a photo of me on my Instagram with him, and you can tell by my face I am completely in shock. but yeah, and then a couple of months later he was selling them, and then I bought them off of him. So yeah, I used the Psycho Frame pedals for Yes Still.
There we go. Okay, wait. I said last one, but actually, we started off the top by saying we were going to talk about the snare. We got to end on the snare. Let's talk about the snare for a second. So what's the sauce here?
All right. First things first. On the new EP, there is no samples, no nothing on any of my drums. They're all real. I did use a Roland TM2 trigger to record my kicks, but everything is raw. So the snare, like if you see us live, it's gonna sound the same. But it's a supersonic. It's a Ludwig supersonic 14-inch snare. Yeah. And
do you like tune it a certain way to make it sound that way, or it's just that's just kind of how it comes out?
I got my ping secrets from Luca from Manticore. Well, he used to be, when Manticore was a thing. Mm-hmm. I actually got it from his interview with you guys because he said it on the interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
So it's
this is why we ask the questions here. We gotta let the people know.
Yeah, questions are important. So it's basically just you tighten the top head as tight as possible, and then the bottom head you just finger tighten it all the way as tight as you can, and that's basically it. And you just gotta make sure you have a metal snare drum that's like pretty big, and that's really it.
Hell yeah, that's dope. That's okay. Wait, we got a last minute request coming in here. Ask Caleb about After Night.
Oh, you're not getting away from this one, Caleb. You're not getting away.
Shout out Jacob. You can't laugh in the room. Shout out Jacob. That's like one of my best friends.
You're not getting out of this one.
After Night is a solo project I've been doing since I was like 14 years old. That's about it.
Santi, is that actually about it? Is he
I
lying?
don't. There's
I'm
more
not-
to say,
no.
but I don't think he wants me to
I don't
go
wanna-
into his
I don't wanna go
personal
into
thing.
it. I don't want to go into it, but
I personally am a really big fan of After Night.
I don't want to go into it. But if anyone is actually really interested, just search up After Night Sounds on Instagram or just After Night benefits on YouTube, and it'll pop up.
There we go. All right. Well, that's about gonna do it. Thank you guys so much for doing this. This was fucking awesome. Really appreciate you guys coming on, and I'd love to maybe give you guys the floor though before we hop off to, if there's anything you guys want to shout out, or if there's anything that you guys have got coming. You guys mentioned maybe a music video. I don't know if there's anything you guys can announce or talk about, but I'd love to kind of give you guys the floor, tell people where they can find you guys and all that good stuff.
I just want to shout people out, so you can go first.
Yeah, before we shout people out, Post-Human Entropy is out now on all streaming platforms. We have a couple stuff coming very soon that I can't talk about, but we do have a music video soon that I can talk about. So that's coming out soon. And we have a show in American Legion Hollywood November 2nd with Crimson Armada, The Gods.
Hell yeah.
Lilith Demise, Heavy Hitter, and I don't know. I feel like I'm forgetting someone.
There's someone else, I think, on that
Is
bill.
Dust Spoke on that?
Dust
Am I
Spoke,
crazy?
yeah. Shout out
Yeah,
Dust
yeah.
Spoke. Yeah. Shout out Jeff for booking that. And then for the thank yous, you can start, Santi.
Okay, shout out to Chris, Chris in the chat. Shout out to Wes Gomi. We love you, Wes. Shout out to John. He plays bass for us. Shout out to Michael again, Grip Reaper, some logos from North Carolina. Shout out to Sheila Broflovsky. Those guys are the goats. I see Chris in the chat. That's awesome. Wholesome Chris.
Wholesome Chris.
What else?
Shout out Jeff of Equinox Booking. Shout out Morris Sustain. Shout out Cripple Wings. Shout out the Brutality podcast. Shout out the whole South Florida scene. Honestly, there's a lot of people to shout out, but shout out the whole South Florida scene. Shout out Wes of Above Death. Shout out Gabe. Shout out Jacob, my best friend from middle school, in the chat right now. And I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. But shout out to every single person who has been streaming our music and who has been supporting us from the beginning. It genuinely means the world to us. Me and Santi have been doing this for a while now. And right now, I could say we're definitely at the happiest we've ever been with music, doing music together. We're definitely at the best stage of where we've been. So shout out everyone that's honestly been helping us out.
Hell yeah.
Yo.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah. Yo, we're all in the other room, and for the shout out, I just have to say shout out Caleb, because he fucking does everything for us. We are nothing without our glorious leader. He's just very humble. He's not gonna say anything. Shout out Caleb. Yeah, that's all.
Shout out Caleb. There we go.
That might be the coolest shout out we've had on the
I'm sorry, they're all in the other room.
They're watching live. They're watching live as we speak.
Y'all are having a watch party in the other room. Okay.
Yeah.
I
When
like
you guys
it. I
mentioned
like it.
After Night, I don't know if you guys picked up, but you could hear them laughing from the other room.
Yep. I did.
All right. Well, guys, thank you guys so much. I mean, Caleb,
you.
speaking of which, we're gonna let you go play a show now. And
Shout out Exit Life.
Shout out Exit Life.
oh yeah, and we'll be keeping in touch, my boys. This is far
For
from the
sure.
last time we're talking. We're very excited for the music you guys are making.
Yes.
I'm excited for more people to get their hands on the most recent EP. I think it's gonna do good for you guys. Can't wait to see the music video as well. And yeah, can't thank you guys enough for taking the time to do this, man. It's been awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
This means so much to us.
Thank you guys. Really,
Oh,
really
yeah.
big
Yeah.
fans. Really, really big fans.
Well, for what it's worth, us too. I mean, we love what you guys are doing, so it's really, it's
Feeling
it's the same
feeling
thing
is
for us.
mutual. Yes,
Boom. Yeah, couldn't find the words as usual, but that's what I meant.
All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. All right.
Thank you guys. Bye.
All right.
care,
Peace
guys.
out.
If you made it to the end of this episode, thank you for watching. And hey, while you're here, hit that subscribe or follow button and a review. If you're watching or listening on a podcast platform, it would mean the world and it helps out more than you know. A big thank you as well to all of our supporters over on Patreon and on Twitch. New episodes every week, links to our Patreon, Discord, and socials in the description. We'll see you soon. We're out.